Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Mock Mondays. My name is Dr. Oral, filling in for Fota, and with me I have.
Evix to a fire.
And I'm Bionicle Titan.
And today on this Mock Mondays, we have a rather interesting mock. This time, it's not a Bionicle mock. Instead, it's Boba Fett from Star Wars, the beloved bounty hunter who is a fan favorite of quite a few Star Wars fans.
Yeah.
Yep. So for those who don't know, Boba Fett is a bounty hunter, cloned from Jango Fett, who is now dead, and by all accounts probably shouldn't exist. But that's just a gripe with the prequels. Anyway, so yeah, Boba is a bounty hunter. He is very skilled. He's most well known for capturing Han Solo after he was frozen in carbonite and taking him to Jabba the Hutt. And yeah, so he's got a ship called the Slave One, which is really cool. And yeah, so he's got a jetpack, a helmet with an antenna thingy, and a really cool blaster. He's got like a flamethrower and a rocket launcher. Yeah, he's all around. He's an all around cool guy.
Ultimate assassin, man.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. And he's got a nice cape. It looks really nice, and it flows in the wind very well. Yeah, so let's take a look at the mock here. Now, for what it is, being a mock based on a Star Wars character, built with Bionicle parts, I think it looks good for what he did. There are points where I'm kind of meh on, but we'll get to those in a bit. So, we're going to start with the legs. We're going to go from the bottom up. So let's go down.
Alright.
And
the legs.
now, I'm going to also compare this with actual pictures of Boba Fett. So So we'll start with the legs, and it's basically gray Toamata foot with some light blue hand pieces on a gray, like a lower leg with, typical leg pieces. And actually right here he's got this yellow, heat orangish hand piece, which if you look at actual Boba Fett, he does have these gold yellowish knee guards. So I actually think that's a pretty nice touch.
So
And,
his legs. The armor placement on that is really not the best. I mean,
He tried.
he tried. I can see where he's trying to go with it, but it just kind of is a little bit of a mess to look at. But then again,
Yeah,
it's not
but I
that
mean,
many-
he's trying to build, as screen accurate as possible, and with Bionicle parts, maybe that's not
yeah,
that
I think
easy.
without the hand, it may have looked a little bit better.
yeah. But I know that there might not be a lot of those parts in that color, but it just still looks a little bit and not to be rude to the mock maker, but it just looks like a jumbled mess.
Yeah,
Somewhat. So it's better than some other people could do. I mean, it's very simplistic for the most part in limbs and stuff, but when we get up closer, you'll see it gets better.
Yeah, so actually, real quick, I'm also going to talk about his weapon before, as we're getting into the arms. So his gun, very simple. It doesn't look, I'm going to be honest, it doesn't look anything like Boba's actual. Well, I mean, Boba has a rifle. But here, it's just, it looks like he just sawed off the stock.
The picture I'm looking at has of Boba Fett. It's a radius 60 of him. He has like a blaster pistol of some sort in his hand, so I'm guessing that's what he was going for, some sort of like blaster pistol, hand cannon type weapon for Boba Fett.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're getting into the arms now. Basically typical build for the arms, nothing really special here. It's got like that reddish thing, and on these pictures here, I don't see. I mean, yeah, the gauntlets that Boba has are red. In some pictures, they're red.
The dark maroon red color.
Yeah, the dark maroon.
Yeah, agreed.
But yeah, so the arms, nothing really special. They don't really have any of the gauntlet type things that Boba had, but again, with Bionicle parts, that's not entirely possible. On the
Yeah.
shoulders here, again, the keyed orange thing, and Boba does have these, gold yellow shoulder guards. So
Yeah,
yeah,
that's good.
yeah. Again, that's a nice touch.
Well, I mean, what I would recommend doing is actually going for more of a custom limb approach. But of course, the mocker could have limited parts. But if I was to actually make the mock, I would go for a more custom limb approach because the arms, it looks kind of still kind of jumbled, and also the whole arm is all that completely just that one color. There's like a tiny bit of upper arm, tiny bit of the arm that's actually still that the color of his upper arms. So I probably wouldn't necessarily use that joint piece, but
That is sand blue that you used on the arms, right? That's
yeah,
the color of blue he's using. Making sure. I thought it was on the legs when we were looking at the legs. I thought for a second they were the medium blue, but looking at it more, it's sand blue.
yeah,
Clarification.
Yeah. So yeah, now we're gonna move on to the torso, and from the front, it looks all right. I mean,
Little
it's
baby.
not horrible by any stretch of the word. I wouldn't say it's fantastic. It's fairly simple, honestly.
I believe
It
that.
honestly, it feels a little slim. I mean, it doesn't seem like I'm looking at Boba right now. He's got a
Yeah.
full-on chest armor thing going on, and I think honestly, if this probably would have looked better if you used some, Hero Factory chest armor and stuff like that.
I
So
think that it's just the Nika limb right there on his chest, and I think that even though it would have kind of broken the color scheme a little bit, he could have put a piece of armor over that. There's plenty of stuff that'll go over it. He could have put like a silver Nika shoulder piece, whatever, and it would have looked better than just leaving it like that.
and he could have painted it too.
Yeah, custom paints aren't always for everybody, but when you can do it, sometimes it is worth it because it makes it look really cool.
Yeah, so there's not a whole lot going on in the front here, but going
Also
around to the back.
Also, to
What were you
add
gonna
to
say,
this, I was gonna say that it's actually in the Nika build. So yeah, like if you just look at it straight up, it doesn't necessarily look like one. But if you actually look at the image about the chest, there's actually
You can see the Nika torso back behind
Yeah.
it,
Yeah,
which I think it does a decent job, like covering it up for the most part and stuff. But
yeah.
yeah. Moving on, we're flipping them around to see the jetpack here. The jetpack looks decent. It it's leaving a lot to be desired, at least for me.
Yeah.
And maybe my expectations are too high because I'm a Star Wars fan and I like Boba Fett. And I'm trying, I'm understanding that you have limitations with Bionicle parts. But I mean,
there's
I
a
think
part
he could have done a lot more than just what we have here.
I know for a fact it's a part I've seen. It's in my collection. It's in our collection somewhere, and it's a part that you can put on that little back plate of that big sand green piece, and you could add some orange studs to it or something, or you could add more to the bottom. You could add something else. It doesn't have to end there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, looking at Boba's jetpack, it's got some light blue and yellow. It's actually quite colorful.
Yeah.
There's a lot less green on it, at least in this picture. I'm
seeing
comparing it to other pictures because some of them he's got different color schemes. So,
I'm seeing blue and yellow and some gray, silver color on his jetpack there.
yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, that's it for the torso, pretty much. Now we're gonna move on to the head, and I think this is the strongest point
Definitely.
in the
Yeah.
entire mock. I think the head looks fantastic. I like how
Yeah,
on the top
I
it's
agree.
got these two decals here, like some blaster markings. Like he's been shot or grazed, and with the helmet. I like the visor. The way he did that looks really nice, actually.
I think that if he could have added a 1x1 tile behind, or 1x1 plate brick behind that tile that made it even, that all the way across, to me that would have looked better. But it doesn't do a bad job at all. Custom built heads are kind of hard to make sometimes, and he does a very good job with this one.
Yeah, and I like how he did the antenna thing which actually looks
Yeah.
very nice and well done, actually.
Hmm.
Despite its simple design, I think it looks really well and goes with it. Yeah, I think the head looks really well done, and it's definitely the strongest point of this mock.
Agreed.
And real quick, something we forgot to mention was he does have a torn up cape.
He does, and that's
Yep.
a good little part of him.
Yeah, so I think that's good. That's a nice touch as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that pretty much wraps this thing up. So, shall we get into our final verdicts?
Sure.
All right, so I'll go first since I'm leading this off. As much as I've talked about my gripes with it and kind of criticized it, I still think it looks really good. If you're not just looking at one individual part, I think it looks good all around. Especially, I will say this: the head looks really good, very well done. I think the head is definitely the strongest point in this mock. So I'm just going to give it. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10.
All right.
Also, because I'm a Star Wars fan.
All right. So the mock, it looks jumbled if you look at it up close, but if you kind of blur your eyes or if it's far away, it kind of conveys the general aesthetic of Boba Fett. But just it being in the Nika build, that not even that special, it still isn't that really good. But then again, the mocker could be limited to his parts, and he was forced to make it an Nika build. But like I said earlier, custom limbs would be better for this case of how Boba Fett looks, comparing him to another image of him, of course. And also his rifle. What is that? Is that even a rifle? Honestly, I mean,
Not sure.
yeah, I mean, like,
the mock
Still
is
like
just
a
like a
pistol.
blaster gun. Boba
Yeah,
has this weird rifle thing.
I would recommend making it longer so you can actually have like two little points to hold the gun. Because in some of his images, he holds it with two hands, and that little gun, he can barely even like hold that with one. I mean, so overall, 4.5 out of 10.
Wow.
Decent mock, not the best.
Lowballing him there.
I know. I'm sorry.
Yeah. For my review, at first glance when I saw this mock, I was like, oh my gosh, it's Boba Fett. That's cool. And then the closer you look at it, the more you look at it, you realize this is actually not the greatest. It could be better. It could be worse for sure. It could have been very basic, just limbs, no armor, and I don't even know what somebody else would do for the head. I don't know how you would be able to do that. Very simplistic. It'd have to be a cool built custom head, which that's definitely the highlight of this mock, is that custom head. That really saves it overall from being complete trash.
Yeah, and you know what? Actually, you guys bring up a lot of good points, and I'm gonna put the Star Wars fan in me beside, and I'm gonna go ahead and give this thing a 6.5.
But yeah, the head is still good though. So
yeah, and I think that even though it isn't a Nika build, he does a decent job with kind of covering it up somewhat, trying to make it less visible that it's in a Nika build. When you first look at it, you can't tell, but what you can tell is those open ball joints on the torso, on the other torso he used. Just fixes customs. I guarantee there are bricks in sand blue and dark red and all these different colors that you can do some brick built stuff with if you have the parts for it. And a brick built thing, it would be come closer to brick built with bionicle joints than more of a bionicle mock. But again, we're limited by the amount of parts we have. There aren't really that many sand green parts in Lego, especially in bionicle. So overall, it's not too bad. It's lacking in some areas, but it is not a bad mock. So I'm gonna be very generous with my rating and give it a 7 out of 10.
All right, so we've got was it 4.5? You gave it, Avix?
yep.
4.5, 6.5, and 7, which the average is 6.
Yeah,
All right.
somewhere around there.
Yep. So, average rating for this mock is 6 out of 10. Again, not horrid by any means, but not very good, with the only good really outstanding part being the
It could
head.
be better. It could be worse.
Yep.
Yep.
So, thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Goodbye.
Ta-ta.